Hello and welcome to News Central Television. I am Lekan Onabanjo. The top stories at this hour. The leadership of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, meets in Bauchi State to strategize for 2027 elections. Nigeria's anti-graft agency AFCC declares oil mogul Bolaji Akinduro wanted for alleged fraud. Mozambique opposition candidate raises concerns over the country's election integrity. Details to come your way shortly. Let's begin by telling you that the acting national chairman of the People's Democratic Party in Nigeria, Umar Damagum, visited Governor Bala Mohammed, the chairman of the PDP Governors Forum, emphasizing a commitment to strengthening party unity ahead of the 2027 elections. The meeting, which took place at the Bauchi State Government House, highlighted the need for a unified approach to overcoming recent challenges that have threatened the party's cohesion. Despite the significance of the discussions, the acting chairman chose not to engage with the press regarding the ongoing issues within the party, leading to speculation about the impact of these crises on their electoral strategy.
We came as a friendly visit, but to discuss, like I earlier said, so many things. As a committed brother, me and him have come a long way, and that he has been very supportive. I want to reiterate this to my, running this party so that we stress things out, and he has also given me his commitment to continue to do so, so that we'll have one united party. I want to use this opportunity to tell Nigerians that PDP is a brand, is the only surviving party since 1998. We have tested so many turbulences, we have come out of it strong. And today we are reorganizing ourselves, uniting ourselves to make sure that come 2027, we take what rightfully belongs to us.
We have agreed and discussed these suspensions extensively with the acting national chairman, and we have resolved to work along together with other organs of the party, the BOT, the members of the Governors Forum, the caucus of the Senate and the House to resolve all these issues. And that is the major takeaway of this visit. That henceforth will deepen stakeholding, will deepen collaboration, so that all these issues that are disparaging the members of the party will be resolved and nip in the bud.
In the meantime, Governor Caleb Mutfwang of Plateau State has sworn in 17 members of the People's Democratic Party who were declared winners of the October 9, 2024 local government chairmanship election in the state. After administering the oath of office, the governor urged them not to betray the trust the people of Plateau have placed in them, but to work together for the advancement of the state. News Central's Chizobanyowe tells us more.
Accreditation, voting, and collation of results took place and concluded on October 9 across the 17 local council areas of Plateau State. It was the first time such an election was held on a weekday. 24 hours later, the election results began to trickle in amid tight security at the Placiac head office. With the announcement of winners in 3 separate batches of 10, 5, and 2, it was time for them to take the oath of office officiated by Governor Caleb Mutfwang.
I am committed to making sure that the local government system not only remains, but becomes stronger and more effective. I therefore welcome you on board to join me in leading Plateau State to a new level. That together we will join hands and work for the benefit of our people. We are going to ensure that you have a peer review mechanism that challenges you to give your best. And I can assure the people of Plateau State that we are not going to allow the local governments to be shortchanged.
pledging to contribute to the development of the state from the grassroots was the newly sworn-in chairman of Wase local government area, who spoke on behalf of his colleagues.
We continue to thank everybody within the state and call for peaceful coexistence within the 17 local government. And we pledge our allegiance to cooperate to give the state government the vital cooperation needed for us to move Plateau State forward.
It was past 9 p.m., but the people of Plateau defied the time to show their support and solidarity. The returning officer for the 17 local government areas, Plangji Chishak, expressed satisfaction with the outcome of the October 9 election and promised improvements in future polls. In Jos for News Central, Chizoba Anyui.
To security matters now. The Nigeria Police Force has said residents of Ughelli, Warri, Sapele and its environs in Delta State, South Nigeria can now sleep with both eyes closed following its proactive measures in tackling the challenges associated with kidnapping and armed robbery in the areas. This revelation is coming amidst insecurity that ravaged the areas in the past few months. News Central correspondent Austin Azu completes the report.
For the past few months, Ughelli, Warri, Sapele and environs in Delta State have repeatedly been on the news, obviously not for good, a myriad of security challenges confronting the areas. This follows regular kidnapping and armed robbery activities along the Ughelli-Patani Expressway. One of such was the kidnapping of university students on transit on the east-west road, among other security challenges that make the Ughelli-Patani Expressway almost impossible and impassable for commuters and road users.
Currently at the heart of Ughelli, and we are here to engage the residents of this area to give an assessment of the security like in Ughelli and environs.
The security is very, very poor. You cannot travel in night, you cannot even move at night. Because of the bad boys. The
security situation in government presently, I think to me, it's okay and you're doing well, but I feel it's not enough during the night hours, as at the hours of 10 till 2 a.m. in the morning. When you go around Ughelli at that point, you virtually see no security agent on the road. It's very, very appalling.
I want the government entirely to take care of our security, to set in a good way.
But the Delta State Police Command claims peace has returned to the once troubled Ughelli town and environs through the deployment of the CP Special Assignment Team to flush out enemies of the state.
But I would like to add that since the deployment of this team to Ughelli, like I said earlier, Ughelli has regained peace and calm. Residents in Ughelli, Sapele, Warri, even Okara, they can now sleep with their 2 eyes closed.
Parading these 52 suspects at the Ughelli A Division before newsmen, believed to be among those suspects terrorizing the twin cities of the town, the police public relations officer Bright Dafe listed their crimes to include kidnapping, armed robbery, courtesan, internet fraudsters, gun runner, among others. One of the suspects is a man said to have been on the police wanted list for the past 3 years, and a female suspect who uses her POS business for ransom payment transactions.
Upon arrest of the suspect whom I said who have been on the street for the past 3 years, he made us to know that one of the rifles which he uses, he handed over to his friend, nicknamed Piccolo. We stormed his residence in Mosoga and also arrested him, and one AK-47 rifle loaded with 6 rounds of live ammunition was also recovered.
Some of these suspects who confessed to their crimes regretted their actions.
I did do business of kidnapping before, so how many people have you kidnapped? I've kidnapped 5 people. Huh? 5. 5? Yes. What location? Between Sapele and Warri.
I was arrested because I wanted to buy AK-47.
AK-47 rifle from
From Bakpo.
From back home. How did you know that he has AK-47 rifle?
It was the one who told me.
It was the one who told you?
Yes, sir.
Okay, how much?
1.3.
Why did you want to buy the rifle?
Because I was going for #1 man in my court.
What is the name of your court?
Aurora, Vikings.
Vikings?
Yes, sir.
Items recovered from the suspects include 3 rescued kidnapped victims, ransom of 5.5 million naira, 47 rifle, 1 AK-49 rifle, 1 G3, 6 pump-action gun, among others. In Ugele for News Central, I'm Austin Azu.
In a related development, the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission has declared oil mogul Bolaji Akinduro wanted for alleged fraud. A statement by the EFCC urged the public to provide information on Akinduro's whereabouts. 51-year-old Akinduro is the executive chairman of Total Grace Oil and Gas Investments Limited. Akinduro is accused of obtaining money under false pretense and committing stealing by conversion. He is an indigene of Ondo State, and he has been advised to report to the EFCC offices in Ibadan, Uyo, Sokoto, Maiduguri, Benin, Makurdi, Kaduna, Ilorin, Enugu, Kano, Lagos, Gombe, Port Harcourt, or Abuja. Now, in Anambra State, a joint task force has raided an illegal wine manufacturing facility in Onitsha, confiscating and sealing off the premises. The facility, located in Onowu Street, was producing and distributing large quantities of fake and unapproved wines, including imitated brands. 7 suspects were arrested during the operation. According to Celestine Anere, Managing Director of OCHA Brigade, the raid was conducted following credible intelligence. The task force seized various alcoholic beverages and wines, and the investigation is said to be ongoing. This operation aims to curb economic sabotage and protect public health. Now we go on a break, and we will return to tell you that the House of Reps is seeking the establishment of Bola Tinubu University. We'll tell you more and bring all the stories when we return. Don't go away. Thanks for staying with us. The House of Representatives is pushing for a bill to establish the Bola Ahmed Tinubu Federal University of Nigerian Languages. The bill, sponsored by the Deputy Speaker Benjamin Kalu and 8 others, is aimed at establishing a university for the promotion of the learning of Nigerian languages. Section 2, Part 1 of the bill provides that the university, when established, shall encourage the advancement of learning and will give out to all persons the opportunity of acquiring a higher education in Nigerian languages and cultures. But I'll tell you that President Bola Tinubu and his wife, Oluremi Tinubu, are set to chair the banquet ceremony marking the 90th birthday celebration of the former head of state of Nigeria, Yakubu Gowon. This was made known by the National Planning Committee, responsible for honoring the former president in Abuja, as they unveiled the program of activities lined up for the celebration. They described the former president as a national icon, commending him for his integration strides during his tenure in office and after the nation's civil war.
General Gowon very wisely decided and ensured that there was no victor, no vanquished. That policy was extremely important in the process of reconciliation. The first event for the 90th birthday is a public lecture. 90th birthday public lecture, by the grace of God, to be delivered on Friday, 18th October 2024, by Dr. Akinwumi Adeshina. The second event will be a national, a birthday, 90th birthday Thanksgiving service. The third event planned by the National Planning Committee is a 90th birthday celebration banquet for the celebrant, with the special guest of honor, the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and the First Lady, the former presidents of Nigeria as guests of honor.
Girl child advocates have called on the Nigerian government to create a Ministry of Children Affairs to address the ongoing challenges facing young girls in marginalized communities in the country. This was as the Ministry of Youth Development hosted the 2024 Girls Future Conference in commemoration of the 2024 International Day of the Girl Child, which was held in the nation's capital, Abuja. News Central's Joshua Marai reports.
24 International Day of the Girl Child event organized by Nigeria's Ministry of Youth Development. The event, which held in Nigeria's federal capital Abuja, saw the convergence of girl child advocates, senior officials of the Ministry of Youth Development, alongside adolescent girls in the federal capital territory. The girls in attendance were encouraged to pursue their dreams and break through societal barriers.
To the girls who are here today, please understand that there is space for you everywhere. Whatever it is that you have set your heart to, by God's grace, is perfectly attainable and achievable for you.
Other speakers at the event said the future of the country is closely tied to the potential of the nation's girl child.
Our commitment to these girls must be unwavering. It is through collective efforts that we will create a nation where every girl child has the chance to flourish, ensuring that Nigeria's future is as bright as her potential.
As important as girl child is in a country, you will discover that every country that wants to develop should focus attention on the needs to address the challenges facing girl child, and to equally make sure that they promote the girl child.
The spotlight of the event was the presentation of cash gift to girls who have excelled in an essay writing competition in commemoration of the event. The essay competition's first place winner received the unique honor serving as Minister of State for Youth Development for a day as part of her reward. Another speaker at the event urged the one-day minister to use the benefit of the office to push for the establishment of the Ministry of Children's Affairs.
Today, please leave a memo down for the minister on the table so that when he comes tomorrow, he will see it. Let him champion a girl child commission. If possible, let there be an executive order or push to the National Assembly for a full-fledged Ministry for Children Affairs.
The Minister of State for Youth Development, however, reacted to the request.
The Ministry of Youth is also part of the Girl Child Ministry. Ministry of Women Affairs is there. Ministry of Labours, we have a lot of ministry, humanitarians. All of these are for the girl child. And I think what we need is collaboration, because it's a government, it's government affairs.
For the girls who were in attendance, the message was loud and clear. You can be whatever you want to be, even as a girl. In Abuja for News Central, I am Joshua Imarai.
Now, some students in Nigeria's capital have called on the federal government to ensure inclusion of adolescents in government's programs and policies, saying this will equip them to confront challenges affecting their well-being. Our correspondent, Idong Joseph, completes the report.
Adolescence is a critical stage of rapid physical, emotional, and mental development as young people's identity and the foundation for their adulthood are shaped. As a period also marked by significant vulnerability, adolescents in Nigeria face challenges ranging from substance abuse, mental health issues, gender-based violence, and poor access to health care and education. Some adolescents blame this on the lack of inclusion by government in formulating its policies and programs.
With issues like mental health, bullying, and pressure to fit in. But we want you to know that we are not just facing these challenges, we are learning how to overcome them.
Opportunities and programs that can be beneficial to us. We are ready to get involved. We want to work with parents, teachers, and health professionals to create activities and initiatives.
While the concerns of these young people are considered genuine by the Ministry of Health, the observance of the International Adolescent Health Week presents an opportunity for Nigeria to place more focus on these important segments of its population.
They have their own minds. Yes, they are children. We guide them. But I believe that we should listen to them as well when they speak. So I want to thank you on behalf of Federal Ministry of Health, that we will take note.
With this year's commemoration themed Thriving Not Surviving, Building adolescent resilience. Nigeria's Minister of Health and Social Welfare called on citizens to support adolescents, urging parents to prioritize their welfare.
I would like to call on parents. A lot of times, parents leave the children to tend to themselves. It is wrong. Yes, the society has changed, but no child should be left alone. No child should be left to fend for him or herself.
Many are calling on the federal government to ensure that Nigerian youths are given opportunities to thrive so that they can confront their life's challenges with resilience and self-confidence. In Abuja for News Central, I am Idong Joseph.
To health matters, the Lagos State government has urged all organizations to include Employment Assistance Programs, EAP, to tackle employees' mental health issue in order to enhance employees' overall performance. At an event organized by the State Ministry of Health with the theme Prioritizing Mental Health at Workplace, mental health experts believe the EAP program will encourage employee engagement and workers' productivity. News Central's Omolola Ololade tells us more.
In Nigeria, 1 in 10 persons will have a mental health disorder, while 1 in 5 persons will have such mental health disorder at the workplace, according to the country's Ministry of Health. Prioritizing mental health at the workplace remains a critical issue, but yet neglected. In a bid to address mental health issues, particularly at workplaces, Lagos State government, through its Ministry of Health, at its World Mental Health Day conference, emphasized the pivotal need for employment assistance programs.
We actually do have programs. Now we've expanded the programs, and it's not just Lagos State making policies and all that. It's also for individuals, and also going out there to let other organizations that are not government be aware that you really do have to help your employees when it comes to their mental health, so that you can have productivity, increased productivity, and healthy people. Healthy people make a better workplace. So that's what it's all about, basically.
We're going to work on how to bring that out as a policy for government, and we will outline all the steps, the responsibilities of the employer, the responsibilities of the employee, and find leaders, champions amongst the employees that will help drive it. And then when we sit with the HOS and we decide how it will work service-wide in Lagos, this is something we will then cascade to the private sector and also monitor to ensure that the private sector is also implementing it.
The Employee Assistance Program, EAP, is a document provided by the employer for the employees to address the challenge posed by mental health issues and alleviate workplace stress. However, mental health professionals believe all forms of stigmatization must be eradicated, especially at the workplace, if employee assistance programs must work effectively.
Stigma, ignorance and discrimination have been around for the longest time. Unfortunately, what it does is that it prevents people from seeking help. It prevents people from speaking out and from getting the help that they very much need. Of course, we may think that it is only the person who has the illness that suffers, but at the end of the day, we all suffer. As to whether or not we do something about it or we are directly or indirectly impacted. And so it's time that people start to prioritize their mental health.
While launching a part of the EAP, the Lagos State government urged everyone to make use of the mental health helpline, as this will help gain more access to mental health services in the state.
When you talk to a healthcare professional who knows your background, who knows your context, you have better access to kind of therapy that you need. So part of the things we're trying to do with the new smart number is also be able to allow for more people to be able to provide licensed counseling to those who will need support across the country, across the nation.
According to experts, mental health issue is not just a personal but a societal issue. Hence the need for stakeholders to provide practical solutions to address this menace, as there is no health without mental health. In Lagos for News Central, I am Omolola Ololade.
Away from the southern part of Nigeria to the north, the Borno State government has officially launched a new electronic staff web app aimed at streamlining administrative processes within the state and local government civil service. The initiative is part of a broader effort to modernize governance and improve efficiency in public service delivery. News Central's Mari Kurawa has more.
The recent flood that devastated Maiduguri, the Borno State capital, and other parts of the state remains one of the darkest experiences for the people. Lives were lost, public and private infrastructure collapsed, livelihoods were destroyed, and many official documents were lost. Officials from Borno State's local government areas are being trained on the electronic staff web application, an online platform that stores and manages sensitive information.
Most of what you want to say is the only person you want to get the information is the only person you get information. And it will also help in reducing the issue of leakages.
It will help the Borno State Civil Service to get access to all their civil servants' files and all their information.
The training is so much interesting because I believe this portal will make some works for the agencies and ministries so easy.
This training is designed to help them navigate the eStaff app, which is intended to enhance staff management, improve communication, and reduce bureaucratic delays.
This is, of course, an innovative solution because, to the best of our knowledge, Borno State is like the first state to adopt this approach to enhance information security.
This capacity building will definitely aid in assisting the government in controlling, or should I say training, those that are concerned in the line of the new media aspect.
The launch of the Borno eStaff web application, held at the University of Maiduguri, was attended by key government officials and stakeholders who emphasized the importance of leveraging technology in governance.
We are in a new era, whether we like it or not. Technology is fast changing. People are now, activities, even routine official activities, are shifting from the paper and the pen to the computer, to the disk, to the CD. So because of that, I think this capacity building program will play a significant role in actually unleashing civil servants in Borno State and local government workers into the new world.
The eStaff web app is expected to significantly enhance the integrity of the civil service in the state. In Maiduguri for News Central, Omoro Kirawa.
The news. Mozambique presidential opposition candidate raises concerns over election integrity. We'll tell you more when we return. To stay with us. The news continues in West Africa, where Senegal's top constitutional body has declared Prime Minister Ousmane Sonko to run in the upcoming parliamentary elections, rejecting an appeal by an opposition coalition that sought to block his candidacy. The Takwalu Senegal coalition, led by former President Macky Sall, argued that Sonko was ineligible to run due to his June 2023 conviction in absentia, which sentenced him to 2 years in prison for corrupting the youth. However, in a decision released on Thursday, the Constitutional Council dismissed the appeal as inadmissible. Senegal will head to the polls on November 17 to elect a new parliament, following President Bassirou Diomaye Faye's decision to dissolve the opposition-led National Assembly in September. Guinea's military junta leader, General Mamadi Doumbouya, has banned ministers from traveling abroad without his approval and ordered all officials currently outside the country to return. The announcement was made by government spokesman Ousmane Gawal Diallo, who explained that the move is aimed at reducing public spending. Diallo stated that the measure will enhance government efficiency and ensure better management of the state's resources. The directive, issued on Thursday, takes immediate effect and will remain in place until the end of the year. General Doumbouya, who seized power in a coup in September 2021, initially committed to returning Guinea to civilian rule by the end of 2024. However, the junta has since indicated that it will not meet this deadline. In East Africa, Mozambique's opposition presidential candidate Venancio Mondlane has expressed concerns about the recent general election, stating that the regime will do everything in its power to avoid losing. This comes after the International Republican Institute's preliminary statement on Mozambique's general election highlighted several challenges, including inconsistent accreditation of domestic observers and party agents, late changes to electoral legislation, and reports of illegal use of state resources during the campaign period. The statement also noted that the pre-election period and election day fell short of international standards, with many issues raised in previous elections still not addressed. The Institute urges the National Elections Commission to conduct a fair, transparent and timely count of the results.
Do ponto de vista político, não só questões técnicas, nós estamos numa situação que
Still ahead on the news. Trump drives anti-immigration message in Aurora campaign. This and the rest of the stories will come your way in a short while. To stay with us. Away from the shores of Africa, we'll tell you that the Republican presidential candidate Donald Trump has sparked controversy over his latest remarks on immigration at a rally in Aurora, Colorado. Trump called for the death penalty for migrants who kill U.S. citizens or law enforcement agency or officers. He also repeated false and misleading claims about immigrants, fueling nativist sentiment. Trump vowed to make November 5th Liberation Day if re-elected, pledging to implement policies centered on mass deportation. Critics argue his rhetoric perpetrates harmful stereotypes and ignores the complexities of immigration. Trump's hardline stance has drawn sharp criticism from local officials and residents who urge a more nuanced approach to addressing the issue.
Everyone here in Colorado and all across our nation, I make this pledge and vow to you. November 5th, 2024 will be Liberation Day in America. It will be Liberation Day. And I will invoke the Alien Enemies Act of 1798. Think of that. 1798. This was put there. 1798. That's a long time ago, right? To target and dismantle every migrant criminal network operating on American soil. We will send elite squads of ICE, Border Patrol, and federal law enforcement officers to hunt down, arrest, and deport every last illegal alien gang member until there is not a single one left in this country. And if they come back into our country, they will be told it is an automatic 10-year sentence in jail with no possibility of parole. And I'm hereby calling for the death penalty for any migrant that kills an American citizen or a law enforcement officer. But Kamala has imported an army of illegal alien gang members and migrant criminals from the dungeons of the third world. And we have to live with these animals.
While at a recent campaign event in Scottsdale, Arizona, Vice President Kamala Harris emphasized the importance of unity and criticized divisive forces. Vice President Harris spoke at a campaign event in Scottsdale, Arizona, warning against powerful forces seeking to divide Americans. She criticized the notion that a leader's strength is measured by who they defeat rather than who they support. Harris emphasized the need for leaders to lift others up and promote unity.
And part of what we know has been happening in the last several years in our country is there's some powerful forces that are trying to divide us as Americans, would have us and cheer us on if we point fingers at one another. There's this kind of backward thinking coming from some folks that suggests that the measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you beat down, instead of what we know, which is the real measure of the strength of a leader is based on who you lift up. That's strength. And I tell you, because I have traveled the country recently including the many, many trips that I've taken over the last almost 4 years, but recently, in particular, where world leaders, allies, have come up to me. We're now on a first-name basis. I've met with so many of them so many times. And they have said to me, Kamala, I hope you guys are going to be okay. One of the things that I think about and weighs on me sometimes is I hope we as Americans really understand how important we are to the world.
A bit of business now. The three-day African Monetary and Economic Sovereignty Conference concluded in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, with a focus on empowering the continent through economic self-determination. The event, themed Leveraging Multipolarity, Economic Options for Africa, brought together a diverse group of academics, policymakers and thought leaders from across Africa and beyond to explore pathways to economic sovereignty. News Central's business correspondent Perpetua Fasami-Peter was there and filed in this report.
Economic sovereignty, U.S. hegemony, debt restructuring, domestic resource mobilization, climate change. These words and phrases have dominated conversations in the past 2 days. But as day 3 unfolds, the focus will be shifting to de-dollarization and pan-Africanism. But can Africa achieve this? Well, let's get into the meeting and hear what they have to say.
My experience is community economic.
The IFS exposed African countries to recurrent balance of payment crisis, debt crisis, which are, in my view, an inevitable outcome of the long-term deterioration of commodity terms of trade, the growth-crushing borrowing rate, and balance of payment constraint imposed by dollar funding. I once asked an IMF colleague that what would happen to Italy if instead of paying 2% on their debt, they were paying 10% or 15% like an African country. His answer was clear: Italy would default.
For Dr. Arauz, Africa must also pay attention to the global payment systems.
Payment systems are a crucial infrastructure of the global economy and, of course, national economies. But very few people know who are the players behind the global infrastructure of the payment systems. Few people know, for example, that every time you use a credit card out of the two major companies, a copy of every transaction is stored in data centers in the United States, that because of the USA Patriot Act, it means that U.S. government agencies, sometimes those affiliated with the military, have access to all of those transactions.
Having established that these structures jeopardize Africa's economic sovereignty, what then must the continent do?
It is important to de-link the national payment systems, the regional payment systems, the African payment systems from those hegemonic players so that there can be more sovereignty, more possibility to not only improve the economic situation of the people in Africa, but also to improve the sovereignty of the information related to the payment systems.
In essence, monetary integration has become the necessary conditions for effective sovereignty and development in Africa. It also has the potential to accelerate implementation of the AFCFTA, and will bring geopolitical power to the regions, the way the dollar has to the US.
It's been over 20 hours of non-stop debate, deliberations and conversations on how Africa can achieve economic sovereignty. This conference has featured the best minds, economists, professors, even thought leaders from Africa and around the world. However, those who are vested with the responsibility of turning these conversations into policies are not here. Well, it is my hope that when the communique gets to them, they'll do the needful. In Addis Ababa, for News Central, I am Perpetua Fasami-Peter.
In sports, Super Falcons defender Rufiat Imran has joined English Women's Championship club London City Lionesses. Imran penned a 3-year contract at Hayes Lane. The 20-year-old previously played for French club Stade Reims. The centre-back who helped the Red and White secure consecutive top 6 finishes in a 2-year spell at the club is in line to make her debut against Charlton Athletic on Sunday. Meanwhile, England winger Bukayo Saka has returned to Arsenal for further assessment of a leg injury and will miss Sunday's Nations League match in Finland. Saka was forced off in the 51st minute of England's 2-1 loss to Greece on Thursday. England are second in the Group B2 standings, 3 points behind Greece, and after 3 games. Saka's injury is a blow for Arsenal, with the captain Martin Odegaard also sidelined. Mikel Arteta's side play Bournemouth away in the Premier League next Saturday. We also tell you that top-seeded Arena Sabalenka fought back from a set down to beat Coco Gauff 1-6, 6-4, 6-4 to reach the Wuhan Open final for the 3rd time. A champion in Wuhan in 2018 and 2019, Sabalenka improved her perfect record in the tournament to 16-0 and will face Zheng Qinwen in the final. Sabalenka has now won 19 of her last 20 matches, a stretch that includes titles in Cincinnati and at the US Open. Sabalenka struggled on serve early on and couldn't control her forehand as the clinical Gauff leaped to a double-break 5-0 lead inside 19 minutes. The American dropped a mere 2 points behind her first serve and limited the Belarusian to just 2 winners throughout that opening frame. And that's all at this hour, but before we go, we'll look at our top stories again. The leadership of the People's Democratic Party has met in Bauchi State to strategize for 2027 elections. Nigeria's anti-graft agency EFCC has declared oil mogul Bolaji Akinduro wanted for alleged fraud. We also told you that Mozambique opposition candidate has raised concerns over the country's election integrity. Or you can watch News Central live on DSTV channel 422, Star Times channel 274, Avo TV and YouTube. Many thanks for watching. I am Lekan Onabanjo.